right, so I'm going to show you how to utilize Peardeck in a couple different ways. If you've used Peardeck in the past, you might remember coming to the Peardeck website. This is where you can view your past sessions, get some data about presentations that you do with students, but you're not going to create your Peardeck in here anymore. If you want to do a presentation, it's easier if you go to a Google Slides presentation. So that's how I'm going to show you how the easiest way to create a Peardeck. So if I open up a new Google Slide presentation or an existing one that I've had in the past, you can use Peardeck to add some engagement to that slide deck. You can also import a PowerPoint presentation, convert it to a Google Slides, and do the same thing. But it has to be Google Slides. So now the best way to add Peardeck engagement is to go to add-ons. If you don't see the Peardeck add-on here, you need to go to Get Add-ons. And this is where you can search for that Peardeck add-on. So if it looks like you don't have it in your Google Slides, then make sure you add that. Once it's in there, you can then choose Peardeck and open it in Google Slides. So when you click that add-on, you'll now see this new dashboard that this is how you can add your engagement. So that Peardeck has lots of different ideas for you if you're struggling with how to, format your slides or things like that. So I'm going to look at our template gallery real quick. And it's really nice because they've organized their ideas for the beginning, during end of their lesson. They've got some critical thinking and some SEL options now. So they give you lots of ideas. If this is your first time using it, you might want to check those out. So I'm just going to play around with some of the templates they have for the beginning of their lesson. So they've made it nice and cute for different ideas of how you might want to get students started. So I'm just going to click on that slide that I like, and it will import into my presentation. And I can change the text to be whatever I want it to be. Okay, so I can change this to, what do you remember from yesterday? Okay, you can change the font, do whatever you want. This little Pear guy down here shows me that this is going to ask students to do something on their screen. So this is going to ask students to write a response. So just a text box of what they want them to do. Okay, seeing this little tab down here means that it will ask students to do something. I'm going to show you how you can easily add it to a slide that you've already created. So if I have a question here for students to answer, if I head back to my main Peardeck screen, if you scroll down to the very beginning, these options right here. So let's say I have a whole presentation I've already created. I have questions in there. If you simply just want to add some engagement, you can use this option here. So if I have a question and I want students to answer with a number, I can click that number option. And it will show me what it's going to do. And now it's going to add that Pear bar down at the bottom of this slide. Okay, so this says this is what students will do to this slide when we get there. So many options. You can add it to an existing or use all the templates to create a brand new one. But it's really important that you do not press this present in Google Slides. When you're ready for students, you're going to hit present lesson in that Peardeck add-on. So I'm going to try to show you how that works. When I get to present here, I want to do this with students, it's going to give me a login screen. So I'm going to ask them to go to this website on their Chromebooks. They're going to type in this code, and that will allow them to log into my Peardeck. So you will see in this blue bar how many students have logged in. If you're nervous about students saying things and you want to know who it is and you want some data afterward or during even, you can click this Open Teacher Dashboard. And you have to use that extend view or your phone to kind of check in and see how students are doing currently, because everything that pops up in this presentation is going to be anonymous at the time if you don't use that teacher dashboard. Sometimes it can be tricky because you're managing 2 screens or 2 devices, but if you're really nervous about what your students are going to say, this is a nice option there, okay? But it's not necessary. You don't have to do that. All right, so I'm going to try to show you what it looks like on the student screen as well as my screen. So this is the first thing students will see. We've got some SEL here. How are they feeling? And then once I'm ready to start the class, so this is my teacher screen, and then this is my student screen. So I can answer this question here by entering a number, because it's a number slide. I'm going enter in, and as a teacher, once I'm ready to see what everyone has answered, I can hit lock the screen. So now my student can't answer anymore, and then I can see the responses. So since there was only me, there's only one red dot. That's what the number slide looks like. Now I can get to the next slide. It says, what do you remember from yesterday? I'm going to answer this question. I'm just going to type my response here. I am struggling to remember. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for my students to lock it. I'm going to lock it as a teacher, show responses, and you'll see a list of what every student has said in this presentation. Next slide is choose the best option. So as a student, I'm going to choose, I think it's true. I'm going to lock it, show the responses, and you'll see how many students said true, how many students said false. And then my last example for you here is that drawing slide. So you're going to ask students to draw. Maybe we learned about snakes. There's my snake. Okay, and then maybe we learned about happy faces. Okay, so it'll be funny what you get from students, but then you'll see all of their responses, all their drawings in one place. You can kind of project and celebrate the awesome drawings. Okay. One more draggable slide. So as a student, I'm going to drag how I did, just a quick exit slip. I think I'm doing great. I'm going to lock it, and then you'll see all the dots where they are. So if I have more blue dots here, I know I'm good. If not, I know I need to go through that lesson again. Okay, so those are just some options to kind of get you started. Adding that engagement, keep students doing something through your presentation is never a bad thing. All right?